definitely, Oscar said that he's willing to go to Bob Arum's office, and I'm if I'll go myself too and knock at Bob Arum's door and hopefully come to an agreement. Hopefully for the best of boxing. For the sake of boxing and the boxing fans, and sooner or later, it has to be done.
Abner, over here. Moreno moved around quite a bit throughout the fight, and he looked like he was getting tired at some point. Was that a challenge to you to try to catch up with him all the time?
It was. I mean, you guys saw me a couple of times actually running. I ran in that ring to catch up to him, to get inside him, to not give him that distance, and that's exactly what I did. He did what he had to do. He tried to outbox me, get his distance, but I kept going closer and closer, and it was definitely a difficult fight for me. He brought the best of me.
Hey, Abner, congrats on the win. Moreno's a guy that is able to usually dictate the pace of his fights and fight at a slower pace. How important was that to your game plan to kind of blitzkrieg him in the first few rounds and just throw so many punches?
I mean, I'm already known as a fighter that throws a lot of punches, but definitely helped me out a lot knowing that, Anselmo Moreno is a fighter that kind of slow starter. He throws a few punches, but, again, it's effective because he's always at that distance, but, there was times where I did give him that distance and he was catching me with that left hand, and that was my fault for, being so far away from him, but... I heard my corner yelling, and I got closer and closer, and I did my fight.
Abner over here. Congratulations on a terrific performance against a top-class fighter in Moreno.
Thank you.
He was even rated top 10 in the ring, which you were not, and yet you showed you were the superior fighter tonight. You were able to win the Bantamweight tournament and defeat Joseph Akbeko twice. And speaking of those two Akbeko fights, in the rematch, I believe you adjusted. Correct me if I'm wrong. You didn't slug it out as much. And in the first fight, I felt like you took the fight to him. You knocked him down in the first round, went to the body. Was this another showcase of your versatility? That if you have a slick guy like a Moreno who can move his head well, who might have a little bit quicker hands, that you can go to his body and chop him down, and at the same time outbox an opponent when need be?
Well, yeah, I mean, you have to adjust, as a champion, you have to adjust to every single style. I mean, you guys see me fight every single style already. I think I've fought every single style out there, every fighter, every champion out there. And it's just a matter of adjusting, working on the proper game plan. And like I said, I don't like to look at tapes. I adjust in the ring, in fight night, and that's exactly what I did. Tonight I adjusted to his style. I saw what he had, and I knew that my pressure was the key to get this victory.
Abner, I'm over here. Is he ready for me? Abner, there I am. Hi, sorry. Congratulations on the victory, very impressive.
Thank you so much.
He hit you with some pretty sharp punches later in the fight. Did you feel any of his punches at all, or because you told him to come on, but did it stun you at all or anything?
No. Luckily, no, it never hurt me. I never felt his punch. I did feel the punches, but didn't feel the power. That's what I mean. And I wanted him, to get comfortable and kind of go inside, and that was my plan, to bring him in. But he did. Sometimes I got the best of him because he lost control in there and he wanted to slug it off, and that's not his fight, and that was my fight. Thank you. Thank you.
Abner, you made it clear that you want Nonito Donaire. My question is both to you and Richard. What is the exact process of making this a reality, at least on your end as it relates to the opposite side? And Frank Espinel, too.
Well, I think it's having a dialogue. That's one way. I don't believe negotiating to the press is the way to go. But if that's the way it has to go, we prefer to do that as well. I think the world wants to see that fight. I think it's one of the biggest fights irrespective of weight classes, which can be made. I think it should be made. And, we can, there are different ways. You can sit down and try to get it done, or you know, there are other ways where one can put an envelope on the table and the other one can put one on the table and see who offers the most. I mean, there are plenty of different options to get it done, but the fact is we want to get it done. And we don't believe in marinating stuff. I think that should be the next fight for Abner and for Nonito Donaire.
Was the other fight that took place in Vegas tonight sort of a step towards the right direction as far as breaking
No,
this wall
that
down?
really has nothing to do with that. That was just a purse bid. I understand it was a draw, so there's probably going to be another purse bid for the same fight. So that really, you know, that really does not accomplish anything.
Abner, can you speak about your desire for the Donaire fight?
Well, I think I made it clear already. Everybody knows that, you know, I want to fight, and I'm sure Nonito made it clear too that, you know, he wants to fight, and Richard too. I mean, there's no doubt we want this fight, and it's just a matter of hopefully, you know, that, you know, Bob Arum, you know, comes to his senses and hopefully makes this offer and make it for the sake of boxing again.
With Donaire and Rigondeaux being top-ranked guys and obviously much more difficult fights to make, a Leo Santa Cruz fight seems a lot more easy to make, and you mentioned it as a step back. Can you elaborate on that as far as what makes that fight a step back for you, barring making the Donaire fight?
I mean, there's no other fight I want to talk about other than the Donaire fight. That's the only fight that should be made and talked about now. That's no other fight for me. I already fought the best, fought everyone.
All right, thank you very much. I see that Anselmo Moreno is here as well, so let's give him a hand of applause as well, because he certainly came to fight, gave a great fight, and as Abner said, was a great champion. Thank you, Abner.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Eddie.
Okay. I want to say thank you for the opportunity to fight a great champion.